Hi everyone, how are you? So, I'm Akshat. I'm making this video because I just wanted to tell you guys about my life, um, where I'm from, what I've done in the past, my history, where I am right now, what I do, and a whole bunch of other things which will follow. So, first of all, I'm Akshat. I was born in Bhagalpur, Bihar in 1989. I did my 10th from there. I graduated from Mount Assisi School. That's a Catholic school. And I remember I had a very amazing childhood because I went to one of the pretty good schools. I received a good education. My parents, they were very, they paid whole lot of attention to me and my sister. We, for the most part, we got what we wanted. Um, and I did pretty decent, like in high school. Then after class 10th, I moved to Kota, Rajasthan for preparing for IIT. That's like a pretty popular hub for IIT preparation. I was in Kota for 3 years, did my 12th from there, then stayed one more year to prepare for IIT and AIEEE both. I ended up, well, I didn't clear IIT, but then I got a pretty good rank in AIEEE, got into DCE, Delhi College of Engineering, did my bachelor's in electrical engineering from there, was there for 4 years, graduated in 2012. My plan was to go for MBA right after completing my undergrad. But that plan didn't work out, even though I got a pretty good percentile in CAT. But anyway, that doesn't matter now. After graduating from DCE, I started working at this startup company in Gurgaon. That company was it involved basically supply chain of printed circuit boards. Printed circuit boards are the green boards which you see inside electronic devices. I was a team lead operations there, did that for close to 4 years. And in my final year at that company, I wanted to pursue supply chain from an academic point of view, like to know more about it. And that was when I started preparing for GRE, TOEFL, and after taking GRE and TOEFL, I started applying to colleges in the US. So I took my GRE in July 2015 and TOEFL in August 2015. And then I started applying to colleges in the US. Once that was done, I was waiting for the results, and I remember the first admit which I got was from sunny Buffalo, which is pretty close to New York City. That was in February 2016, and then I had my interview at USC, which is University of Southern California in Los Angeles. Now, that was like one of my first interviews for a university. And I really didn't know what to expect in the interview. I thought it would be mostly behavioral, and it was behavioral for the most part. And I cleared the interview. I did wait for the results, I think, for a day or two, and I didn't have to follow up with them. They got back to me saying that you have been selected, you have been admitted to University of Southern California. So that was like a amazing moment, because once you get an admit to a particular university in the US, and if it's one of the programs you have been aiming for, then it's a pretty good feeling, because what's like one of the most important things, or one of the most important things which we look forward to before coming to the US, is to experience the education system in the US, how it's different, how the culture itself is different from India. what kind of opportunities lie ahead for you here after your master's, and of course the campus life itself. So many things going on in the campus. You get to meet a lot of new people. You get to make a lot of new friends, and since it's LA, so of course it's a very vibrant city. You get to experience the culture of LA and the West Coast in general. Now, after I came to the US, that was in August 2016. Yeah, that was August 8th, 2016. I boarded the flight from New Delhi, landed in LA. I remember the first night when I reached here. I didn't have any contact for any of my roommates. So, and so it's like once you arrive in an apartment here, um, once you're in a society like where people stay, and if you reach anywhere after 9 or 10 in the evening, it's quite desolate. Like, you won't see anyone walking around. So thankfully, when I reached the apartment, I saw a person just walking down the street, and I had asked him like if he lived in that apartment, and he said he did. So I could actually get inside, and since I knew my room number, I went to my apartment and knocked on the door. And my roommates, of course, they were already there. They had reached like a day or two before me. So even though they were like considerably new to the US, they had gotten a few things for themselves, like the mattress and like all the things which you need when you move to a new place. So anyway, I got in, I settled. We had a 3-day orientation program scheduled. I came here to pursue my master's in supply chain. I went to USC, as I said. I went to the business school, Marshall School of Business. And it was a pretty interesting class composition, I should say, because there were 45 people in the classroom program and 45 people in the online program. And there were people from India, there were people from China, the US, Taiwan, a few people from Europe, I think. Yeah, a few people from Europe, and of course a few people from the US as well, as I said. Now, I got to interact with them during the days of orientation, and straight away I realized that it was going to be a very different kind of program, because I think one of the first things which I realized was there is much more emphasis placed here on being assertive rather than a professor coming to class and giving you notes. It's important that you are assertive, you say what you think, even though it might be you disagreeing with what the popular opinion in the class is, whether it might be opinions of other students or whether it might be the opinion of the professor himself or herself. That was one of the important realizations which I had. And of course, the classes started pretty soon after I landed here in the US. Since I had taken a student loan, so it was imperative for me to, to find a on-campus job. Now, to find an on-campus job, I went to almost all the different places on campus which could potentially give me a job, whether it was bookstore, whether it was different departments, different university departments, whether it was even the gym or the sports center inside the campus. It was difficult. It is difficult to get an on-campus job, especially when you don't have any references here, any contact, any people whom you know who are already working there who can refer you, because that's how it mostly works here. Like, people who are working already at a particular job, they will refer you. That kind of builds the trust that, okay, this person is being referred by someone, so they already have some kind of credibility coming in. But anyway, I was determined that I would be finding a job, even though I didn't have any references. And this is where I think a lot of determination comes from. You go to, I went to different places within the campus. I explored the bookstore. I went to a juice store. I went to cafeteria. I went to different departments, talked to them. And that was, I think, what helped me to land a job. I worked in the cafe for, I got a job at a cafe, and then I worked at that job for 2 or 3 months. Then I applied to university newspaper because I was very interested in the things which they publish in the newspaper. So I wanted to be a part of that. I applied online and I got in. And then that was during the first semester, which is the fall semester. I worked at the cafe and then at the university newspaper. Then in the spring semester, I started working at a bookstore. Someone referred me there, and one of my friends who was working there, she referred me there, and then I started working there. I worked there for close to 5-6 months. Now, this is very important when you are at a university in the US. You have to keep yourself involved in a lot of things which are going on at campus, because the more you involve yourself, the more chances are that you will meet new people who can refer you to their jobs or internships, or maybe even become your best friends, right? In the future. If not best friends, then at least good friends. That will be a potential chance for that relationship to progress or bloom into something which is which will become a relationship of a lifetime, right? And once I was nearing the end of the fall semester, of the spring semester, I was trying to get an internship at any supply chain role at any company for summer of the next year, which was summer of 2017. And I eventually landed a internship opportunity at a cruise company. I worked there for 2 months as an intern, got to meet a few amazing people there. And that was also a very amazing experience for me, because when you are working as an intern, not a lot of expectations are from you, but at least you have to show that you have to show your credibility. So I did create an Excel report for them. They ended up utilizing it. It was a very comprehensive report, so whatever they were doing earlier, the time reduced by a significant amount, and I think they are still using it to this day. Now, besides the actual work which you do, it's very important to meet the people in different departments. So my manager, she arranged for me to meet different people I was working in the sales department, so she arranged meetings for me to work in supply chain, to meet people in supply chain, to meet people in purchasing, to meet people even in finance. Because not only did I ask her, but she also understood that how important it is to build relationship as an intern, so that if in the future you want to come and work here at the cruise company as a full-time position, someone from a different department might have been very influenced by what you said or what you interacted, how the interaction went with them, and then based on that they might be able to refer you for a particular role. Now, I had been applying to full-time positions also when I was an intern, and I did end up getting a position. I did end up getting a full-time job as soon as I finished the internship. I started working as a consultant in August 2017. I've been working at that job ever since. It's been a great experience. I recently got a CSCP certification. That's a supply chain certification as well. So it's been an amazing 2.5 years till now. And excuse me. Now, besides the professional life, I also wanted to understand the culture of the US, which I think is an essential aspect which people, especially the foreigners, they should look into, because you come to a different country, you realize how different things are here. Here, people for the most part, and again, I'm not generalizing, especially when you go to the West Coast or the East Coast, people, for the most part, don't care what you do till the time you mind your own business, you do what you like. So, say for example, I volunteered at the arts initiative of USC, and I got to meet so many people like through that initiative. Some of them I'm in touch with today. Some of them I was in touch until recently, till they moved to a different job. But my point is that whenever you move to a new place, you should always be cognizant of that culture. You should try to understand why things are the way they are here, why things are different in India. I think it's very I think it's very mind. I think it's a very good realization to that you understand that our culture, it's shaped in a different way from the way the US culture is, right?